So Joe's like, I'm gonna start pushing it, let's go. I'm like, okay, let's start doing it. We got this T-64 over here we want to take down first before we start prioritizing the air issues. T-64 takes a couple more shots from an Abrams, and that one will hit it. From here, Chieftain's gonna come up and start exploding. We're gonna get another Abrams up. 2 air units, anti-air units taken down here. Now here's the exploit. What we've been waiting for this entire game. Toe coming in, hitting the BMP-1. Afghanistan down. Another one down. Command down. T-80. T-80 is going to get hit there. Eagle coming in to start distracting. Mi-26 is going to start taking some shots. T-80 is down. So there's a lot of stuff still going through. We're going to take out this Strela. Hey guys, Dark Prometheus here, back with another Warno game here. So I'm playing with Joe. He's doing a little heli strat with the Airborne. So not mass heli, this is Gamer World. It's a random game, 10v10. He's doing a heli strat defense, and we're trying to hold this area through here. I'm playing as Berlin Command, and so ultimately what we're going to come in at first, the Milan 1. A couple of them. We got some assault pioneers to capture those first points. Some more Milan 1, so 3 of those. Some PVADs. We're gonna bring in some rifles, a javelin, and some more rifles. So the idea with this is I'm trying to hold this bridge here, and the tow Humvee is going to be the main anti-vehicle. We're going to kind of lean on Joe and his helos to deal with any vehicles that push us along these 2 vectors and roads. Up here, he's got 4 stingers. So he's trying to do the strat to protect his helos. And he also has a good stinger post from there. We also brought in a couple of hell arms, and those are going to be the ones sitting on the river and taking shots. He's playing as the 82nd, and we are playing as Berlin Command. So let's get right into this one. We're going to have our view of it. So we're going to bring up our AH-7s up on the river line. He's pushing through, nothing there. We have a collapse. This is a long game, by the way, so it's going to be a longer commentary than normal, because the game was about 50 minutes and it was an intense game. He gets up here. Anna Bellin and LFC Adams. We're looking at those guys. That is the 79th. And the other one is the KDA. So good push here. Joe pushing. We have a lot of vehicles coming in. Spetsnaz GRU taken down. Joe putting a lot. That is a lot of stuff. A lot of speed. And that is a helo push also by Gamer World with us to try to stall these so we can exploit it with our infantry. So pretty good push from that, just to kind of push this line back. Gamer World went all the way towards the end. We bring in a couple of Harrier clusters to come in and start putting some bombs on. We do take out a couple of units there as we pass through. Smartly though, what Joe does is Joe pulls his there's a couple little birds and his tow cobra and his Apache back to start healing. And then we're to the point where we are going to start taking down some of this artillery. So Harriers come down with the cluster and hit a couple of those mortars. Mortars are almost done. The scout should take out the rest of the mortars. If it's not taking down quickly, I think it's actually taking down. We're gonna get these rifles in this space, see if we can't get it. We see also this, what is this, the Real stop here on the back side. Joe's gonna pull in his A10 and take that out. So we are to the point where our Milans are gonna be pushed up into this space. We're gonna try to dominate this space and kind of hold it with some supply. Our Hell Arms are gonna come out. Osa's gonna take a shot at the A10. Hell Arm is just cannot see that Osa. The rocket though is gonna come down and take down the Osa. So the Hell Arm's still doing some work. Still there. It's gonna take a shot. There's a BMP down. And we are pretty much clear here. We're gonna get this Humvee up in this space. And we're just gonna try to take these vehicles and sustain a front line here. As the guy who did a helo push quits. And well, from here, this entire space was overrun. Weird game. Weird game. Me and Joe kind of just buying our time over here. Ensuring that they can't take this point. The Harrier cluster coming in. Does get its cluster down. We do not actually destroy the unit there. And that is at least one of them down. Now here's Joe going to push up his Apaches, Heavy Hogs, and some Little Birds, Tow Cobras. He only, for his armor, has Sheridan, so we're the ones with the tanks. We have some infantry support tanks coming out with the AMX-30Bs. With that autocannon grenade launcher. And then some MI, or M1 IP Abrams that we're going to put up in this space. We're kind of worried about any Conquers, anything. Here's a command coming up. Conquers takes a round from the Abrams. And here is that RK-HM. So we're going to also bring up a couple more tanks, some Chieftains. We're going to put them up in this space, and we're going to dominate this space. If he wants to come across this, he's going to have to come through these woods, which we're going to be able to see. A lot of people actually ended up leaving this game. This AMX-30, taking some shots with the Motor Strelke. Good shot by the Abrams. A lot of artillery strikes here. Coming from deep range. Kind of off the aim there. We get a Milan 1 out in this space here. And this Milan 1 and these tree lines can see just about anything that comes across this field. And this Abrams is over here doing absolute work. Cluster's going to come in, not destroy the command. It's a little bit more. Chieftains are going to come up here, and then we're going to establish a tank line here. Abrams still taking shots. Osa back here. A lot of artillery was used on our side against us. And we had a pretty good front with this. So F-16 Seed comes in. Not able to hit the Tunguska. It does hit the Seed, and it will go down with the Skrizhet back there as well. The BTR ZD. Get our first supply here. Start supplying these units in the corner. Like I said, this was completely overturned. I'm not sure how this unit, I'm not sure what was going on here. It's an AI. I'm not sure how this isn't taken. No idea. Both of us have two guys or one guy on each side been taken. So we kind of just evolved that this side was already lost and that we were going to win it through the push on this side, but we had to buy our time. Buying a Nighthawk now. Joe going to come in and start hitting that command, and that's the only one they had here. What we started doing is bringing in artillery and seeing any artillery that was hitting us or any air-to-air units, or not air-to-air, but air defense units, we were going to completely start hitting them. A couple of Chieftains out here setting up, getting ready. We're starting to see the T-64s oppose us and some T-80s. a lot of air. We bring in the Nighthawk. It's not going to get its round off. And in fact, the Nighthawk is not going to get any shots off, unfortunately. So at this point, I figure, hey, we need to start taking down not just the artillery, but the air defense. So Joe pretty much using those missiles, and his tanks are pretty good anti-infantry. So that's what's good with the Sheridans. Pretty much from there, we are just completely flooding this with ATGMs. Now the Chieftains, I want to put them in these trees here, and maybe we can get some shots on the T-64s. The T-64s have so much range in this, and they hurt. So we have to close the distance. We see that command back there as well, but we need to get the first T-64 out. We're not going to be able to get that. Weird lack of helos on our side as well. Tow Humvee starting to open up here. That's going to hit the BMP. T-64 command is going to try to get up here. This Abrams is going to get a nice side shot on it. Turret's stuck. It's going to take one shot and then hit from a Humvee tow, but we do lose this from a bunch of T-64s. Joe starts hovering his A-10 rocket back here. And we're just still holding this somehow, some way. We're going to get some more supply up here to kind of filter through. This Chieftain sees that BTR, and BTR takes a good shot. So it's pretty stagnant over here. On this side, our guys started actually pushing from here, trying to stabilize the right side. But also, this push here, he was able to hold this. One of our teammates, and then able to push and hold this. That kind of held the flank together instead of us getting wiped from the flank here. So we're starting to see more and more out here. AT's coming in as well. Just outside the range of the PVAD. More artillery coming in. Does destroy one of our tanks. And that is an F-16 from Joe. Takes out one. This A-10 rocket going for that Afghansky. It's going to take down that. And here is the air push from Joe. So he's going for key units. Key strong units. We have a bunch of air back here. And at this point I figured, okay, we need to get everything, stabilize this front here. Get some more supply up, so we're at least able to hold this with this Humvee tow. Stabilize this Milan here. Start getting a couple more ATGMs. And the idea with this is, okay, we need to start targeting this air. We're going to pretty much live and die off the success of these helos coming in and out. We bring in another artillery piece. And now we're going to start concentrating on anything we see, particularly anything that's anti-air or any supply. Try to cut their supply off. Force them to supply back here rather than the supply on the front line. Next, rockets come in, hitting around this supply. Pretty inaccurate, but a couple do hit. We're going to set up our supply depot on the other side of the river. I was thinking about setting it up here. The biggest thing is they can see these units. So we ended up setting it back here, and we just need to have good conscious awareness of moving supply back and forth. So here comes the artillery going for the supply unit and the Iglas, but also the Tunguska that's there. Not getting good hits. That might be good hits back there, though. But we'll have to see later. They're pretty good at moving around some of their assets. I'm not sure what the play here is. It is smoke. Maybe, but the reality is it's way behind our line, so I'm not sure what the play here is. Looks like it is explosive. So we're gonna bring in a seed and a Mirage HE. Mirage H3 comes through. A lot of bombs in that area. We do kill the supply, but we will not actually get the Tunguska, which is unfortunate. And the seed was a little bit slower in coming in. So it's going to move through. We're looking for it. It's not going to get anything off there. So that is unfortunate. The seed cannot see or do that. Artillery coming in now. Killed 2 artillery pieces of theirs. Still looking, have it pretty stagnant. Joe's getting ready for another kilo push. Trying to get their command in. Command's gonna get right in here and we're gonna start partying both of these woods. There's an F-16 with the AT, does get the command. So we start seeing the Conquerors here, and the Conquerors isn't gonna survive. How many aircraft is over here? They do have 940 to victory. On the right side, we finally stabilized this front, and we're starting to push with more and more, particularly with a lot of air cover, which is helping out. Me and Joe still buying our time, putting a lot of artillery where we can see any of their anti-air. We also have Keyboard Warrior back here and Baron Bass also contributing to take down some of this air. See this Strela over here? I don't know what it's doing. Joe's gonna bring this F-16. This MiG-23 does hit it from the outside. It does kill it. However, this MiG-23 is not long for this world, I don't think. It is not. Another command over here, but again, we can see this over here because of this LRS. Another aircraft down to theirs. Starting seeing more and more shots over in this direction. Joe hasn't responded yet. He's going to move over and deal with that. We are still dealing with the air. I mark it here. Hey, this command's back over here. Trying to get the supply up. We're going to anchor these shots on the Tunguska and the supply. First one's a good hit. Second and third one, the opposing, and we have a route there. More coming in. Looking for it. That's a good shot there on the supply. And will we have one more follow-up? This is this M110 back here. Not able to get a shot on it. We do take out this though with artillery, so it's down. We're trying to do a border push with that. BMP-2 is going to get absolutely spanked. But it looks like Sheridan missiles from there. We're going to pull up this Milan 2. This Milan 2 will have good line of sight from here. We essentially just dominate this even more. We also had the VAB Milan, which we will move down. I think we end up moving it like down here or up in this. Be able to get a good line of sight in here. We're still artillerying the supply and the Tunguska back here. They come in. That one's going to miss the Tunguska. Humvee comes in. Milan 2 into Milan. That Humvee tow, though, is going to be hitting the BMP-1. Does not kill it, but does damage it. We see that it is then a Conquers. And from there, I'm telling you, okay, we need to actually start taking shots because these Conquers could be an absolute menace towards us holding this area. The BMP-1 is going to be taken out first. I mark it. He's going to get some Sheridans up. We're going to start artillerying it. And we'll see what we can do there. They get themselves an Mi-8 up on the left side. The Stinger can't see it. It's just outside range. And here comes our artillery. The 2 ATGMs, I mark it again. Hey, I'm gonna start hitting those with artillery. This MIA is getting a little too close. If it gets any closer, I think it's gonna start taking. How close is it? Ooh, it's just out of range. Unfortunately, we lost that Milan. We're gonna bring in a couple more tanks, a Chieftain Mark 10 and an Abrams. And we're gonna put them in this vector here so we can deal with these 2 ATGMs. Artillery still coming in, going for the Cub and the Tunguska. That Cub is out, so a good kill there. Mi-24 AT and A coming through. Stinger's gonna open up on the AT and miss the first shot. Looking for the second, and it will not have one. But from here, just gonna reloading, and eventually we'll get ourselves up to speed with everything. Euro coming in, Conquers. Start seeing more and more. This Avenger Paris does kill their AT, but there's so many ATGMs there. The last one gets it. The last one. So we talk about how we need to take down these ATGMs. This one in the forest cannot actually see me. That's one thing, because of this forest here. These ones will be able to. So we have to get within range. Artillery starts coming in on the Conquerors themselves, and we're going to start taking shots. One dead, the other one dies from artillery, and from here, this Conquerors can't see anything. We're going to start arting that though. After we clear that forest with a couple more good shots. We're still aiming for the Tunguska. Good artillery though, also from our allies back here. With the M110. And we see a D44 over here. 85 mil. So it's going to take shots at this Stinger. The Stinger is going to try to take shots at the Mi-24. It kills it before the D44 can take shots at it. T-64 taking shots at this Stinger now. F-16 A-10 comes through. Does kill this. I think that was an AD asset. And here comes more artillery. So we're going to try to aim to this Tunguska. We're going to try to take out that 120 mil. We're starting to see more and more come through. This Abrams is going to be pushed out by the Motor Strelke with its RPG-7s. The Conqueror is going to have a shot here on the Abrams. It's going to miss. Actually, it's going to take a shot at the Sheridan. Sheridan's going to hit the Conquerors. We are going to start artillerying this. Conqueror is going to take another Sheridan shot before it is taken out by artillery, and that saves our Abrams. So we change our targets after we're going to put a couple rounds into that space. We are going to start aiming for these Strelos and Books. Now, Joe was telling me that he would like to push through the side here, do a complete push and swipe them off the border and push them right. So we're preparing for that. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're preparing for it. Elsewhere, we've kind of stabilized the front. over on the right side, taking this, kind of just stabilized this entire right side. This guy is even with him, able to have a good even fight here, and this one is also an even fight with this. So we're kind of the side that's thinking we're gonna have to make a breakthrough at some point to capture this area, or at least cancel it out. They're just on a static 1. So we start marking stuff at this point. I see the supply and I'm telling myself, hey, if we can just hit their supply also, this anti-air is not going to be resupplying itself, and they're going to have to push back their supply point. Kind of the idea before. Well, our M110s start opening up for that. Both of them are there. First shot is too long. Second shot is short. That one's right on it and kills it. So helo supply is done. We're going to put a couple more rounds there for just good reference. And that is that done. So we had a couple more things out here. We see is Tunguska. We're not seeing any more supply. We had a couple other ones in some AD with the... Not sure what that technically is. It is Z23 TAC 2. So that's what it is. Other than these, which is... maybe it isn't that one. Here it is. This is the ZSU 23 TAC 4. So I think this one's a little bit more deadlier. This one, though, is just a mobilized platform. I believe this one is on a chassis. No radar system. And I think this is on a BMP. Yeah, this is on a BMP chassis with a person on it. So no radar system with that. T80 push here. I see this. We're going to get some supply back here. And here goes Joe on his offensive. Now we are still trying to arty as much as this is possible to try to hit it. This book takes a shot. It's not going to take another one there, and that one misses. Joe's still getting it up here. The Strella's going to come up. Joe's going to pull back. We're going to bait these Strellas in. Good idea. Joe's going to have... I'm going to bring up a Mirage HE, and we are going to strike both the Nighthawk through this point, but also the Mirage. So he brings in F-16 Eagle A to kind of bait some shots. None of them are actually going to hit. Can't wait till we actually one later does. Which then is going to allow us to get the Nighthawks in, swoop in the side, and try to hit it like this. But we're trying to take down here supply in the Tunguska. Those are taken down with a couple of chieftains. Well, just one chieftain and an AMX 30. We're gonna get this Abrams in. I want to push it to hit the Strela and the Afghansky before I push my own aircraft in. We get a good shot on that Tunguska. This MiG-27 is going to come in. It's going to get its bombs off, I believe. Actually, it will not. So we take one out here. This Nighthawk looking is going to get this book before it dies. So two go down. We take out this one. There's still an OSA back here and an Afghansky. We took the other one down here. That was by the MTLB. And this MTLB cannot, or this one cannot supply that. There's still a lot of air assets around it, but now from here, we see this T-80. Not really worried about it because of the fact that we are pushing. And Joe wants to push this left side, and I'm trying to make a hole for him. They do smoke that out. That Abrams is going to get killed. T-80 though is going to take a... Actually, that ATGM misses. And here is a good push. Now, we aren't completely ready for this, but these T-80s aren't either. And that's what Joe brings them up for. Trying to get those T-80s to move back. Over on the right side, they have stabilized and are now completely pushing. A lot of artillery being put in the space there. And we're still aiming for the anti-air assets. We're still cycling things in. We're going to get a Humvee tow, and we're going to have 2 of these. We're going to come up, and we're going to put them in space. Now we're starting to see Joker. Joker's coming over here. He is the 35th. Supply gets hit, unfortunately, by an ATGM. Strela goes too far forward. He gets hit by the Sheridan. That Osa is dead. With a good siege from Joe, and we are just pounding as much as possible. So we start seeing the Osa, a couple more Strelas come through, and a command over here. This Humvee tow just has to hit those. And we saw these Strelas, a bunch of Strelas. They're going to come right into the view of this Humvee. The Humvee tow is going to take a shot at this front one. That's stationary. It's dead. This Humvee tow now sees this one. It's going to take a shot. Actually, this one's going to take a shot first. Going to come in, and it's going to hit in the side. So that one's done. Joe's going to bring his helos around, take out this command, but also told him, hey, you need to take out this first also, so we can keep the momentum up. Good shot from the Chieftain on the T-64, and there is Joe's helos. Just a bunch of kills. Command is down. That's down, and we are going to take this also down. So that's 2 anti-air assets, a command, and a couple more. By the end of it, I think Joe had said that he took down 7 or 8 commands. So at that point, I think he'd killed more commands than we have in our, than both of us have in our entire deck. I think he came in with 2, and I came in with 4 just in case. I'm gonna push up the Cubs and the Strelas here. Osa way in the back. We're gonna start convalescing tanks over here. We got a couple Chieftains we're gonna put in this space, just as a reaction force. And here's a push. Here, 2 commands, some T-80 BVs. Here's where we're gonna put a lot of forces in. This Milan and the Humvee tows are gonna take their first shot here. Come in, it's gonna miss the T-80 BBK. BBK is gonna take a shot, take another side shot from a Chieftain. Chieftain's not gonna take that next shot. This Chieftain, though, is going to take a shot at it. That's going to miss. It's going to hit the Conquerors instead. That T-80 is going to be routed by the Milan 1 and the tow. At this point, we have so much supply here, we are just spamming out tows with the Humvee tows. And now they have this Spetsnaz back here that we can see. Again, though, I'm more worried about the Strelas. The tanks are going to come over here into this space. We move up our Abrams in case they want to push this road. They are going to push this road. And they are going to get absolutely destroyed by the amounts of anti-tank. We're going to rein in artillery. We're also going to rein in our... Joe's going to rein in his air. My alarms are here in reserve just in case this goes bad. Our artillery starts hitting there now. Abrams is hit. It's going to get hit a couple more times until it goes out. Artillery starts hitting now the supply. And from here, this is just a bad news situation for LFC. Just absolutely getting pounded by artillery and a bunch of helos. That will do it for that tank push. So we were able to exhaust that. Joe's going to pull his helos out. I'm going to replace my alarms here. So in case he wants to push more, Joe can kind of keep on resupplying. with these to get ready, and we'll just take this static defense along this line. On the opposite side here, this has pretty much stayed stagnant for the most part. They do have a +3, so we're thinking, okay, it's about time we need to take a good hard push here. Joe starts getting some of his airborne units in, because his idea is to push along the map border here, push through here, push infantry up, and occupy this tree line to dominate their flank, while I push with my tanks and everything, push this open area. So at first we're going to push up the Humvee tow. We're going to replace that previous one with another Humvee tow. It's going to take a shot, trying to get a shot on that Strela 2. It does not hit. Humvee tow out again. This time going for the Osa, and that missile just runs out of steam. So he's just trying to get to where I'm just wasting ammo, but the biggest thing is we have so much supply and ammo over here that we're not really worried about that. The BTR does escape without being hit. We see the 2 Akulas back here, and it's like, okay, we do need to worry about these 2 attack helos. Here goes Joe with a Humvee push to kind of see what they have in front of him. I'm going to push out my Hell Arms first in front of Joe's Apaches to bait any shots that are out here before he starts trying to exploit this. We're also going to get our artillery out on this. This Osa and Strela were right on top of each other. We thought that's a good spot. Tow comes in, takes out another vehicle. We're going to push. We're going to leapfrog these Humvee tows. So the idea with this is we want to be able to see the Strela. Now that Akula gets hit with a Stinger, and it's going to be killed by this additional Stinger. Our Hell Arm is taking down, but at the end of the day, the Eagles come through. I think it ends up killing the other Akula. And from here, we're going to just start putting ATGMs down a longer spread. Here comes the push here. 2 Eagles come through. Just holding this out. Now, Keyboard Warrior, who's our flank, has given up. We're still somehow holding. We've pushed out their command. We're back to a +1. And at this point, so many air is coming through here from Joe, even though they're anti-air. They're allowing us to actually get a good foothold. So there's another command down. I think we've taken out 2 commands over here. T-80's now actually taking shots at the Humvee tow. 2 more coming through. We're going to get ours down here. We're trying to take out that Akula. It's now killed. Humvee tow is going to start taking artillery. This Abrams and Chieftain is going to come in to kill the Conquerors. We can get a little bit more of an exploit area. Another Abrams coming in. So now we're just reinforcing Joe's push to have a ground element with it. T-80 coming out. We're going to get a supply up here for this Humvee tow. Trying to kill that command, and that one misses on the T-80 BVK. We're just pretty much circling this just to ensure that they take a look at it. We're just baiting his actual air. Looking through here, we kill that command with the Humvee tow. Mi-26 comes in. We don't know where it's going to end up landing. We're just waiting for it. This Abrams to hit, so we'll pull it back. The Humvee tow takes out another Strela. This is going to come in and end up getting shots by a Stinger. Now this is way too forward. Well, it's taken a couple of shots. The issue with this is we can see it. At this point, I'm saying, hey, let's just put shots on it. We're not really worried about it. Put some shots on it. Joe's going to come in with some more Airborne, which he's going to get out and press up. We're going to support it with more tanks. We got another command tank out here. Obviously, our command is, this portion is all the way back here. But I didn't have enough tanks, so at this point, let's call in the command tank area and start pushing it. The Humvee tow, looking at this Afghansky. 12 within range. Gonna take a shot. And well, misses the Afghansky. So Joe's like, I'm gonna start pushing it. Let's go. I'm like, okay, let's start doing it. We got this T-64 over here we want to take down first before we start prioritizing the air issues. T-64 takes a couple more shots from an Abrams, and that one will hit it. From here, Chieftain's going to come up and start exploding. We're going to get another Abrams up. 2 air units, anti-air units taken down here. Here's the exploit. What we've been waiting for this entire game. Tow coming in, hitting the BMP-1. Afghanistan down. Another one down. Command down. T-80. T-80 is going to get hit there. Eagle coming in to start distracting. Mi-26 is going to start taking some shots. T-80 is down. So there's a lot of stuff still going through. We're going to take out this Strela. Or we were going to. T-80 is still there. Strela's down. T-80 is going to get hit by that air. We get another anti-air unit there. Mi-26, this Strela just cannot fire fast enough. And we're just going to push up little by little. Shot comes in, misses. We're still missing. That Strela's down. At this point, from here, with a combined air push with some Apaches and some heavy hogs with a little bird. I think the little bird's the I think the little bird is technically the one that's spotting. We started exploiting it with our tanks. Our first idea was, okay, let's get this Abrams here. We'll cancel this one and let's push up everything. This Su-25 just getting absolutely pummeled by PVADs. And here it is. We've canceled that out. Now this T-64 is going to get absolutely destroyed. Now it's up to us to hold the exploit that Joe just opened on the left side. Joe did lose a lot of his helos there. Only has 3 left. But now he is going to exploit the forest. Now it's up to me to kind of push to this line across. Hold it. Hold as a flank here. So he can push up through the woods. And we just reestablish a new line to ensure they can't take it. With that exploit there, makes one of them leave the game because we have completely rushed through their lines. There is nothing more here that could really oppose us. We've outrun our line so much. The other guy over here surrenders as well. But on the right side, they've been able to exploit too. So it's just a war of attrition in this game. A lot of good holding, good defense. We had a good exploit. We bought some time. We dealt with what we could with the assets that we wanted to, mutually supporting. I mean, Joe didn't really have a lot of tanks, but as you can see here, we're coming in with not just infantry support tanks like he has, but we've also came in with chieftains, we've came in with Abrams, and we've kind of solidified, like this area was big. If they were going to push, he was able to solidify this area with his infantry and his tanks to allow for a resupply zone for his own, and then we just kind of push through. One thing I would say that I would need in this deck is probably a little bit more artillery, heavy artillery. Now there's a couple things that we could do with heavy artillery, or the fact that you can go with just a better better set of troops. I mean, the 8th would have been good here. How I have it, which is like my 8th Marine Force, which is just mostly armor and air assets, and kind of held with that because Joe has so many infantry assets with that we can mutually support each other while we push across the same lane. I mean, from here, there's nothing really. I mean, we have a +5. We're thinking once we establish this, they try to push up. I think this is technically the AI. Tries to push up a command up here a couple of times, and we just gonna arty it and establish this line over here. Here's Thor coming with his kilo assaults coming through, and you can definitely see over time, if you don't eliminate an enemy fast enough, especially the US side, you will start to see just rows of helos all over the map. We didn't really have any helo pushes on our side, just a couple of hell arms, and those were just there to hold the line, make it stagnant. Joe, on the other hand, came in with all of the helos, a lot of aircraft, and infantry to try to exploit this. So I was more of the armor, and he had some air defense, but I brought in my air defense, which to kind of supplement his, which we didn't really have a lot of good air defense. He just has air defense that can't be countered by any seed aircraft, which is nice. I really don't have any besides PVADs and javelins. So he has the chaparrals, which are pretty good with that. I thought we did a pretty decent job. We cleaned up this. This has been cleaned up. And from here, we're just looking at where we could help. What I was looking for is to establish a line here, get some infantry in these houses so they can't come out and kind of just put a unit in this corner or whatever. I mean, it was a pretty good game that started off with losing the right side, having a massive ticking score. And typically what you would have in that situation is you'd have a lot of people leave, which we did have in this game. But we somehow stabilized the lines. We somehow did what we needed to do. The PVADs deal with that. So we pretty much have this, and we're gonna get a good tick with this. I do kind of want this to go a little bit faster, so we'll go to speed 2. It's pretty much just a cleanup operation from here. This is the main one that we don't have at the moment. We also don't have this, but I think this gets squeezed in. But with a +7, there's not much, and a lot of attrition. There's not much that they can do. Now, I started bringing up also eventually, like I bring up these AMX 30s to establish this line here. So there's no funny business with something sneaking in. Joe starts helping elsewhere with air assault and air assets in the middle. We're starting to see more and more of that. There is the last guy on the left side that we went up against leave. And I think at this point, I'm not sure if most of the people have left at this point. But start seeing air assault come in. I mean, frankly, you're not going to stop that. Yes, it's an air assault. There's a bunch of random MI8's there. The reality is, once this goes down, we just got even bigger plus there. +8. Start seeing Baron. This starts being in. I start pulling my AMX 30s over here to just establish a line. They get a +9 here. So crazy game with the fact that we went through a situation to where we lost the right side in the initial start, likely because either someone left or someone didn't cover it and someone got rolled on this side. The crazy game in this one, just absolutely insane. So I came through with twice as many kills. Joe had just about a little bit more than he had. 2/3 killed more than he had lost. That was one thing. A long game. We came through. The cluster from the start actually killed out a fair amount of units with that clustered start. One command with that. Couple UAS, which I think had units in them. I'm not sure if it's marked if there's units in there. A Gaz, Tunguska, a D44, some Conquerors, BMP, what? Like that was good. This Humvee tow really rocked it. A couple of BMPs, a T64 BBK, a BTR ZD, a BRDM, a T80. This Abrams only took out that Conquerors before it was destroyed. This was the one that was on the side, and it did kill a T80 BBK. Okay, an AMX 30 killing a T80. This Chieftain, BTR, Conquers, MTLB, and an Igla. Unfortunately, we only had one drop from this Mirage 4, but it did kill an Igla and one of the Urals that was resupplying, which did impact their ability to resupply a lot of their troops, which is likely why it halted a lot of their push. Artillery comes in. I mean, one artillery, some Cubs. It killed an Mi-24V that was probably on the ground resupplying. That's why I always take my helos back to either way back behind the lines or to my fob. Because if you place them down where you can see a supply helo landed, that's how you lose helicopters. Tunguska, a couple Conquerors, BMP, Conquerors, a couple more ATGMs, this MI8, which is the supply, another MI9, that was the command later on in the game. This tow, T80, T64, Cub, Estrella. This Nighthawk only took down one of the Bucks, but I mean, that was good. Estrella and Motor Strelke, that was on the left side. Another Conquerors, another Conquerors. This Humvee tow did work. A T80, T80 BBK, Estrella Afghanistan. I mean, it did absolute work. This was one of the push Abrams. So it took out one of the supply helos on the ground. This Humvee tow then took out a T64 BBK. That was that Harrier that took down after Joe had put his F-15s on it, I think. We killed that Akula, another T-80 BBK, T-64s. I mean, this Abrams did work. This Chieftain did decent with the T-80 and the Strela. The Abrams Command, a BMD, the CSU TAC 23, yeah, the MTLB, we have a Strela. This PVAT took out an SU-25. I think that was later on. Maybe an AI put that in there, but almost kind of weird. It just flew right over our entire area and didn't really shoot, which I thought was funny. Like how I do it, say if this is the line here, I don't put my AT flight like through enemy lines here. I look at a vehicle that's in front and I come up and I fire it, and then I maneuver back behind my lines as opposed to maneuvering all the way through. It's really weird that they did that. Of course, unless you have a rocket like the Rocket A-10, you are gonna have to push through and just hope you come out on the other side. So that was pretty good with that. I thought we did a great job in that game. Insane game that we end up winning and coming back from, and just it was fun all around. So thank you all for joining me. Go and leave a like below, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next Warno video. Oh, I will say, next couple of weeks, 2 new units, 2 new divisions. We're obviously going to showcase them and have some fun. So be on the lookout for those videos when those 2 new units come out in the next couple weeks, month or so. Who knows? It's going to be relatively recent. So yeah, see you guys later.